Appreciate the beauty of nature and taste what's in season every month. What food will a foreign council make for a traditional Chinese salad term? Autumn equinox, or秋分in Chinese. The 16th of the 24 solar terms takes place on or around September 23rd each year. On this day, the sun is directly overhead at high noon at the equator, and the earth is in balance, evenly split between day and night, warm and cold. In the middle of autumn, everything has been harvested and food is abundant, bringing joy to farmers. According to historical records, ancient emperors worshipped the moon on the day of autumn equinox. The full custom of viewing the moon at the Mid-Autumn Festival was derived from this ancient ritual. Mooncake mold and get it out by tapping. We've got a mooncake. The Mid-Autumn Festival, which developed from autumn equinox, is one of the 3 most important traditional festivals in China. For thousands of years, people had worshipped and admired the moon on this special day, drinking and singing songs. Mooncakes have also turned into an iconic and must-eat food at the festival from sacrificial offerings. Its sweetness and fragrance impressed the literary giant Su Dongpo, who thought highly of mooncakes in his poem. On the day of autumn equinox, I am going to visit one of my new friends with its mooncakes in Cantonese style as a gift. Lisa Heller is a senior diplomat who's been devoted to China-US relations for over 35 years. She likes collecting traditional Chinese items such as Chinese paper fans and folding screens, which can be seen everywhere in her residence. She took the office of the US Consul General in Guangzhou just 1 year ago. But she said her story in China can be traced back over 30 years. At that time, she chose to teach in China right after graduation, despite frequent changes at work over the years. She's shown constant concern to educational cooperation between China and the US. I invite Consul General Lisa Heller to Taishan to visit an historical school, and she, Education Caring, should be interested.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, nice to meet you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again. How do you think about the weather today? Today is the autumn equinox.
Oh, wow. It's lovely. It's gorgeous blue skies today. A little bit of a breeze, which
so
makes it nice, yes.
Yeah.
But where I come from in the autumn, we usually see lots of different colors. Here it's still so very green in South China.
Well, I think you are very perspective because in China, actually, we have a different cropping system. Generally speaking, crops usually have one harvest in 1 year. But in southern China, owing to the warm weather and the humid weather, so in southern China, crops usually have 2 harvests in 1 year.
Farmers, their work is never done. I guess they're very diligent, and but we rely on their work so much.
In order to pay tribute to the farmers in China, China created a festival called Chinese Farmers Harvest Festival.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. To recognize the hard work of farmers, we all depend on them so much, so it's good to recognize them.
Yeah. During the autumn equinox in ancient times because it occurs in the autumn festival, and at this time people would eat mooncakes.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So speaking of mooncakes, today I prepared mooncakes for you.
Oh wow.
Could you guess where is this?
Oh, are they hiding in here? Oh wow.
This is the mooncakes I prepared before, and I hope you will like it because it is made by myself.
Oh, you made them yourself. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I do love mooncakes actually. They have the sweet and the salty, and they're very lovely. These are the lotus.
Oh,
right?
yeah, lotus seed
lotus
paste.
seeds, yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
It's excellent. It's excellent.
So, is it the first time you try it?
No, actually, I've had many mooncakes in my life. The first time that I had mooncakes was when I first came to China to teach back in 1986, and I was working in Dalian.
Wow, so long ago.
Yeah, so their mooncakes are a little different up there. They have the wuren,
Oh,
kinds of-
wuren.
Yeah. It was shortly after I arrived, a few weeks after I arrived, and it was my birthday, and it just happened to be the Mid-Autumn Festival at the same time. So this was the first really fancy dessert that I had in China.
I could imagine there were very few desserts in Dalian at that time.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of the variety that they have now.
But after 30 years, more than 30 years, I
Oh,
think
yes.
we have a lot of choices of mooncakes, different shapes, different stuffing.
Sure. Well, speaking of sweet desserts, I've brought you a gift from my home.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
This is an American-style apple pie. It's a traditional dessert. It features apples from the northwestern part of the United States, cranberries from Massachusetts, and Massachusetts is Guangdong's sister state,
Yeah.
and there are pecans from the American South.
Wow, I could see the cranberry, giant cranberry here. It's different from the apple pies I saw in McDonald's.
Oh, really? No, it's very different. This is a homemade version, and this is like a traditional style American pie with the crust on the top as well. Should we try it?
Okay, I can't wait to try.
Okay. Yeah, it's very good
Very good. Wow.
and fun to make too.
I could finish at least half of it.
Okay.
Very good. So delicious. Oh, we could also find the chestnuts here.
Those are pecans. I think you call them like shanhetao or something.
核桃, yeah.
Shanhetao, yeah. They're usually grown in the southern U.S. and Texas and states around there. But they've also become extremely popular in recent years here in China. We export large quantities of pecans to China. The Chinese like to make them with sugar on them, very sweet, like a candy. But they're very popular here now too.
Actually, I've heard many phrases related to American pie. As American as apple pie.
Right. We say something as American as apple pie. And it means because it's something that is loved and adopted by people from all kinds of backgrounds and all walks of life, including many of our immigrants, that apple pie is just something kind of very universal in our country. So we have this saying.
And actually, Chinese people love apples because apples symbolize peace and safety in Chinese.
Well, for us, apples actually are a symbol of education. Many years ago, maybe 100 years ago, when people lived in the remote areas and maybe didn't have a lot of cash to pay school teachers, they would often bring bags of apples to school or bags of other fruit to pay the teachers. So the symbol of an apple kind of became associated with education. And even today, when it's time for back to school in the fall, they will often use a symbol of an apple to represent this time for back to school. So that's an important symbol for us.
I could see the apple and apple pies actually play an important role in American culture.
Yes, it does, very much.
So talking about education, actually where we are now, the cafe and homestay was originally a school 100 years ago.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and it was donated by overseas Chinese in the United States and Canada, etc.
Well, this building is such a gorgeous combination of Chinese and Baroque architecture.
Yeah, and you could see Guangda. Actually, the name of Guangda was written by Dr. Sun Yat-sen.
Oh, by himself, personally.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The two characters originated from a periodical founded by a ink club in Taishan, and it still circulates nowadays, particularly for the overseas Chinese in North America.
Well, they, I guess, appreciated the importance of education for their hometowns and wanted to maintain those links with their home clans and their home countries, and how important that was.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we need to keep learning in order to get a better life or contribute to our nation.
Yes.
And speaking of lifelong learning, it reminds me a legendary figure because he didn't go to school actually, but I think he must have learned a lot of things by himself and contribute a lot to the sinology research and promotion in history.
Okay. So they had to figure out who he was.
Yeah, he came back in 1905 and he donated some schools, and also his youngest son was the teacher for the clan schools, clan members.
Yes, clearly he wanted to bring something to his clan as well as to all of those people in New York who benefit from his generosity.
You look.
Yeah,
the
there's
envelopes.
Chinese on the envelope.
For these letters.
Okay, so he must have written the envelopes and mailed them back to New York.
There's another place I thought you might be interested in. Shall we go and have a look?
Sure, that would be great. 安溪酒家.
Wow, you pronounce very good.
Oh, restaurant by the river?
Yeah, you are a Chinese expert.
Not really, not really. This looks lovely, but why this restaurant?
I had found some China-US connections in this restaurant. Yeah. Would you like to know?
Sure. That view.
Yeah.
Such a huge place.
Hanxi Restaurant is a well-known landscape restaurant in Guangdong.
It's just gorgeous to see all this traditional architecture and floral design come together. It's pretty amazing.
It looks like a little bit like ink painting in China.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to make it like a shan shui picture.
This is a very famous Cantonese opera, and I think every Cantonese must have heard of this opera.
Okay. Well, the costumes are gorgeous, and it's so nice to have a set here in the middle of the restaurant.
And this restaurant actually has a history of 70 years.
Oh, really?
Has received many foreign leaders before.
Well, I heard that former President Bush and Dr. Kissinger came to a restaurant in Guangzhou. Was this one here?
Bingo, that's right.
So many famous people. What brings them to this restaurant? What's the attraction here?
Oh, I think maybe it's because here we could find the best Cantonese food.
So it's very authentic.
Yeah, very authentic.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you like to try?
Sure. One chef, wow.
So the chefs need to be very diligent. He not only mastered good cooking skills, but also plating skills.
Together is 1 hour.
Yeah, wow. Extraordinary. And then these here are desserts? These are sweet?
You could say that it is desserts, but actually we usually call it dim sum. Let me see what we could find. Oh, the white rabbit here.
Yeah, ribbit.
Yeah,
My
and
ribbit.
also this is go, 山羊. Go.
Yeah.
Yang.
Pie,
Okay.
And also we could find
Porcupine. No, puffer fish. It's a fish, right?
fish? Where is the fish?
No, I thought there's a kind of fish that's
Oh, I know.
yeah.
No, it's a
When- when-
hedgehog. It's a hedgehog.
When it is angry, right?
Yeah. But
I know the
the
fish.
flower in the middle is the most extraordinary.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. The
It's
leaves
gorgeous.
and the petals.
Why
and the,
ribbit?
I think the kids want eat them because they want to bring them home and raise them. They're so
Yeah.
lifelike.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew.
In my work in Beijing at the embassy, I was frequently working with educational programs, and we were doing everything we can to increase American students coming to China and Chinese students coming to the US. I think, in fact, that Chinese students are still the largest number of students from outside the US who are studying there. I know that the embassies and consulates in China gave out more than 100,000 visas to Chinese students just last year. So in spite of all of the challenges, it's still a very strong educational cooperation story we're seeing.
So you have come to China for more than 30 years, like?
Yes, I guess it has been
36?
35, 36 years, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so many changes, but I mean, still a lot of wonderful, inspiring people even now. So it's great.
It's very, thanks for your brilliant hard work on this. Let's toast together
Okay.
to those working hard for changes.
Those working hard for changes.
As the saying goes, everything yields to diligence. Diligence plus innovations helps us lead a better life, realize our dreams more easily, and solve many problems. As two powers to be great again, China and the United States need to rely on their peoples to keep working hard for it. Heaven rewards the diligent. Consistent hard work leads to success, just like a good harvest depends on the spring sowing. Let's keep striving for our dreams together.